All right, welcome back to the Conviction Fiction Podcast, where we shine a light on real stories of transformation, resilience, and second chances. I'm your host, of course, Antoine Rivers, and today's conversation is one that's both unique and deeply inspiring. Today, our guest, Alena Patchett, has been walking a powerful journey over 6 years. We're going to say 6 years clean. And
Almost.
now, almost, and now working on creating a horse based recovery program. Now, she brings together her lived experience with her professional gift as a horse trainer to create a space where healing, trust, and recovery they kind of intersect, right? This
Yeah.
just isn't about recovery, it's about creating innovative pathways for people to rediscover themselves, rebuild their confidence, and experience therapy in a way that's never been heard before, especially for my listeners, right? So I'm excited to dive into her story, her vision, and her mission. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey, welcome, Alena. Thanks for joining the show today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So Alena, you have a interesting story, but I want we're just gonna take it back from the beginning just to get everybody up to speed. Can you
Okay.
take us back to the beginning? What led you to the point of realizing that change had to happen, and how did your recovery journey truly begin?
Okay, so I actually wanted to be well, I didn't want to be. So listen, I ended up being a heroin addict, but then I was like, I love being a heroin addict, and I wanted to be a heroin addict for the rest of my life, and I was like, cool with it, or I convinced myself that I was cool with it. But then I ended up, getting pregnant, and I was in a really abusive relationship, and deep in my in my pregnancy I was getting beat up a lot, and it was just coming to the point where I had to protect my belly or protect my head, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And it finally, things went to blows one night, and I was like, this is it, I'm done, and I walked barefoot to detox.
Wow. So hitting 5 years clean is a powerful milestone.
Yeah.
What do those years represent for you beyond just a number? What does that mean for you hitting 5.5 years, 5.5 years beyond the numbers? What does it mean?
So 5.5 years in recovery means a lot of things to me. Like, it means I can build relationships with my kids. I can, build a life for myself that I never ever thought in a million years was possible. Every day is a blessing. And I try to stay grateful because, it's hard to stay grateful when you're this far in recovery, but I think it's so important. But it means so much. Like, it means life. It means life, you know?
Okay. Yeah. And there were some battles. Of course, we all face battles. Some of the internal battles, external battles. I You were talking about abusive relationship a minute ago. So there's external battles, and then there's those internal battles. So
Yeah.
what were some of the hardest internal battles that you faced in those early days of sobriety, and how did you
Well,
overcome them?
well, I hate to feel. I hate to feel emotions. And I think that that's why I became a heroin addict, because like you could I could just do it, and then I would never have to feel about it. And I was aware of the fact that I was eventually going to have to work through that if I wanted to change my life. But
Mhm.
for a long time in my addiction, I was like, oh, I never have to deal with this again because I'm just going to be a heroin addict for the rest of my life, and that's fine. And now I think, well, in my early recovery, it was hard to sit with my feelings and process my emotions, process everything that happened, find acceptance in the things that I've done, which acceptance was pretty easy for me because I'm like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did all these things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did stupid things. And I accepted things pretty well. But now that I'm looking back, it's actually harder for me to accept things like the pain that I've caused my children and like the embarrassment that I've caused. It's more difficult now to deal with. But early on, I think acceptance was key and processing those emotions. But listen, it's like 1 minute at a time. Okay, one more minute. I can get through the next minute. I can get through the next minute. And all of a sudden, I'm 5.5 years clean.
Right, right. That's a long time. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, a lifetime to go. Right.
Yes.
Another question I had, I was like looking back. Okay, I know that there were some pivotal choices or moments that kept you moving forward instead of slipping back. What did they look like?
My pivotal moments. Well, so I like found it super easy to stay motivated like very early on because like I took that first year and I really focused on myself and processing everything that had happened, taking care of my son because I have a 5-year-old son who you can probably hear splashing in the background because he's at the pool. Um, and
Awesome.
his birth is something that is like, okay, now I have a live reason to stay clean. I need to take care of this child every day. And then I worked all the way up from like getting my first apartment. And that
Right.
was like huge. And then after my apartment, I finally decided to get back into the horse business. I flew out and made my amends with the people who I had wronged in the horse business. And then after I did that, I decided I was going to try to be, working with horses again. And, I applied for this job that I have now, not expecting to get it because I was like, it's whatever, I'll just apply anyway. And, now I have purpose and drive and something to work towards and goals and all of those things.
That's awesome. Now, when I think back, every time I sit down for these conversations, I'm reminded of just how powerful second chances really are. Because I can still remember the day I walked out of prison. I was one of those guys, and I thought freedom alone would be enough. That once I got out, everything would just fall into place. And I had my issues with drugs and alcohol at one time. But the truth is, freedom without direction can feel like another kind of prison. The weight of the past doesn't just disappear just because the doors swing open or just because you decide that you are going to be clean.
Yeah.
So how was that for you? Like, were there moments where you like, hold up, this isn't going to work?
Well, honestly, like I didn't really like lack my direction or anything at first because I was just kind of taking it second by second. I
Mhm.
really didn't struggle with anything like detrimentally that was really going to impact my recovery until recently. Until in April, my mom died of a fentanyl overdose. Mind blown. Like that took me out because I'm like, what is the reason for anything now? Like, what is it? Why am I doing any of this? And so then I had to like completely step back, take a look at, play the tape, figure out what's going to happen, process the fact that my mom died from a fentanyl overdose and completely
Wow.
unexpected, not something that I ever would have expected in my life from her. And so I think I didn't really get any setbacks like that until then.
Yeah, yeah, that could have been tough. Now moving to the horse story, which is crazy because somehow you use the horses like I don't know if they're therapists. What now? They play a big role. Let's just say that they play a big role in your vision for recovery.
Mhm.
What made you see the connection between horse training and healing from addiction?
Listen, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I know that there's another program out there that I actually went and spoke at last month or earlier this month. And it's such a beautiful thing, but I was already thinking of a horse-based recovery program because like I was saying earlier, like horses, they give me drive. They give me like horses have to eat even on Christmas Day. So like if you don't get up and feed these horses, then they're not going to eat and then now you're killed some horses and I don't know what it is. They say that they're like flow of energy, or there's a certain word I can't remember right now, but they just you can stand next to a horse and it's healing. And
Yeah.
I stand next to a lot of horses. And let me be completely honest, really quick. Horses also drive me crazy. Like I get like I cry and I like, but I don't let that drive. Like I have so much drive that like I get frustrated, but then I keep trying for my end goal. And some days I'm like, this sucks. I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. But then I'm like, but then the rewards just come in like, okay, a baby horse that I could not get to trot down a straight line. And then finally we trotted down a straight line and it's like so rewarding.
I saw
But
some of your pictures online. You were like, the hats and stuff, and you guys are looking all British. I guess that's the word. Like I don't know. Um, but for those people who may not understand, you were talking about how horses help in recovery or therapy in ways that traditional approaches don't. And when it comes to like that energy, that's
yeah.
some amazing stuff. Now with your horse-based recovery program, is this something that has launched or is something that is in the works?
It's in the works.
Mhm.
And so I'm playing with ideas because I'm thinking like, because so horse training itself is very rewarding and very beneficial because you have to learn about the horse. Because like if you get frustrated, you cannot be mean, because being mean to this animal is like you're not going to get anywhere because they're a horse. And so you have to learn their language and you have to learn how to communicate with them, and that takes like patience and struggle, and it's rough, but it's so rewarding. And
Mm.
in my I haven't decided if I'm going to do like the horse training thing where I'm going to like teach people how to like be around and get the horses to do things, or on the other side of things, I can teach job skills. If you can learn how to brush a horse, like a show horse, you can get a job anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country.
That will make it make sense. Okay, so what's the thing about brushing a horse? I mean, is it like, I mean, it's just a brush, right?
Wrong. So
Okay.
if you learn like the basic skills of horsemanship, like brushing a horse, getting them ready for a show, getting them ready to be trained, they call it a groom. So a groom does all those things. If you So that's a job in the horse business. Another job in the horse business is horse training, which is what I do. And another job would be like hauling horses. There's so many jobs, horseshoeing, like all there's so many jobs. Farm hands, like stall cleaner, like all of these things are ways to find jobs in the horse business. Like I have job security because I feel like I could get a job anywhere because I have the experience and the time, and I've been doing this for so long. But
Mhm.
you could teach like anybody if they want to learn to put in the work. You teach anybody to be a groom.
I got to get out to California. That's where you are. I got to get
Yeah.
out to California and come to your little thing because I'm just interested in what a session in your horse based recovery program would look like. I mean, like if I could paint a picture of what someone might experience, it would be like me, um, lonely. Like, what am I doing out here? And then all of a sudden, I'm standing next to a horse and I'm at peace.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm at peace or I'm serene with this horse. Because not only is it like what, 3 times my weight, 4 or 5 times my weight. What do you say?
They're like
Like
1,000 pounds. I mean,
1,000 pounds. Okay, 10 times my weight, and he's just want or she, I guess, would
yeah.
want to just chill with me. So I think that's important. So, what are some of the most surprising lessons that you've learned about people and about yourself just through working with horses in this context?
Well, a horse will make or break you. That's for sure. Sometimes people will fall off and not let that stop them. And then some people will fall off and never come back. And that, in my opinion, says a lot about somebody, because if you're willing to fail one time and not get back up and try again, you're not going to get anywhere. But people in recovery have fallen down and gotten back up and fallen down and coming back up already so many
Yeah,
times in their life. And that's the same thing, just a different world, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. And that's why I appreciate you being on here because um, you understand recovery in a way that's both deeply personal and incredibly creative, right? You're
Hmm.
taking your gift as a horse trainer and you're building a program that helps people heal, connect, and find hope in a place that might not expect to find hope and all that stuff. So, um, I know this about horses. They have a quiet strength about them. They don't judge, they don't hold
Yep.
grudges. They
Yep.
simply respond to the energy you bring, right?
Yep.
And in many ways, that's the kind of grace we all need when we're rebuilding our lives. So, um, this is an interesting story. I know my listeners will want to listen to this, and you might want to think about this. Like, for those listeners, not Alena, I know you know about horses, right? I
Yeah.
already know that. But what's the horse in your own life? What's that thing that brings you peace? What's that thing that that unexpected passion, that gift, or that connection that could carry you through recovery, through those second chances, through some type of transformation? That's what it's all about. Because sometimes healing doesn't come in the form that we traditionally think that it's going to come. Sometimes it shows
Yeah.
up exactly where we need it most. So you've been doing this for how long? Horses,
The
just horses.
So I started riding horses when I was 7.
Mhm.
And then I rode horses my whole childhood. And then I got my first horse job when I was 19. And I worked professionally as an assistant trainer for 5 years, and then I got into my addiction, and I've been back at it for four years.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. So ultimately, we believe in short term, long term, and intermediate goals.
Mhm.
Where do you see this program 5 years from now?
5 years from now, listen, I decided literally that I'm going to be so busy for the next 5 years. I literally just decided that the other day. I was like, I'm just going to be so busy. I'm going to make myself so exhausted. I'm 33. I have time. I can just be exhausted for the next 5 years. It's fine.
Mm,
I'm going to wear myself out, and I'm going to put to work to this program. And my goal isn't to have a huge, ginormous program with hundreds of people. No, I want to touch small amount of people, 5 to 10 people at a time. I want to
mm,
do like a year-long recovery program, and I would like to provide housing, but that is like huge to think about. So it'd
yeah.
probably be just starting out small, really small, with a couple people at a time. This next year, I've tried to convince my boss, so if she's watching this, hello.
Mm.
I am trying to convince her to let me do a 1 week camp for just
Okay.
recovering addicts, so they can come and kind of like see what I do, and then end each day with like a meeting or something.
Yeah.
And that would be like next summer. And then within 2 years, my program should be completely up and running, solid on the ground. We already have a 501c3 on the property for people with developmental disabilities, and we have and 501c3 is like a nonprofit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we have a large or like a big, they give you a mission statement. You have to do a mission statement, and it's a broad mission statement, meaning I can enter that 501c3. So my program will be completely nonprofit. I would like to not charge people to do my program.
Right.
That would be ideal, which, it's a big thing, but you know what? I've done so much stuff. Like if I can quit heroin, I can literally do whatever I want. So
Mm. You're amazing. You're a superhero. Now the impact that you're going to have on people within the community dealing with addiction and recovery, I mean, it's immeasurable right now because a lot of people haven't tapped in to even thinking or considering like, oh, I'm just going to go ride a horse and I'm going to be out of it. Building something new like this takes a lot of resources and support. What challenges are you facing in bringing this program to life?
well, the long-term program that I'd like to have would provide housing, and so that would be a huge struggle. I'm I'm trying to get out on these podcasts right now so I can get my name out there and tell
Mhm.
people what I'm trying to do. So that way I'm going to start fundraising soon, because like I said, we already have a 501c3. So if people want to want to donate to our 501c3, all of the proceeds will go that are donated for my program will go to my program, and they are tax deductible. And we can send you like a little thing that says it's tax deductible. And I'll have to get a couple more horses, because a couple of horses that we already have that would work for my program are kind of like getting a little old, and we're going to retire them soon. And so we'll have to get a couple new horses. So I think my biggest struggle is going to be like housing, because I am not rich. Because horse training, you get in it for the love of the horse, not for the money. Let me tell you.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, so for someone listening right now, I know you said about donation. How would they do that? Was it like a website link? Go ahead, send out your socials. Let's talk about
Okay.
that. How can
Well,
someone
my
connect with
social, my TikTok is, if you want to donate, you can reach out to me on TikTok. My @ is Alena Sister Shark, with Alena _sister _ shark. And then Facebook, Alena Patchett. But there is the website that we have for our 501c3 that you can donate directly through our website. I would put like a little message that this is what it's for first, because there's two different departments. It'll be my department and then the developmental disability department. So just put like a little message, this is what this is for. It's called Cougar Pass Recovery Ranch and .com. And you can go to there, and you can see what they're doing on theirs, because I haven't added any of my stuff yet. And then you can go to the donation tab and donate there.
Okay, you said it's Cooper Pass
Mm-hmm.
Recovery Ranch.
Yep.
All right. So for those people that are listening, be sure to go check out Cooper Pass Recovery Ranch, and I'll also make sure that is put in our socials as
Okay.
we move forward. Now, when I think about recovery, and this whole little thing, I'm trying to figure out like how can I get out there, right? You're not going to charge me because it's free. It's nonprofit work.
Yeah.
I need to get out there. But I want to thank you first for being so open open and sharing your heart, your journey, and this incredible vision that you're building. Now, what you're doing is breaking new ground in recovery, and it shows the power. I know you're not probably not the first to do it, but with your struggles and the way that you've overcome, it's definitely going to be unique, right?
Yeah.
For our listeners, if you want to learn more about Alena's work, her progress, or even find out how you can support her horse-based recovery program, check out the links in the show's notes. That's going to happen. You just look below, whether it's through volunteering, spreading the word, donating, or helping provide resources. I know somebody out there that got a horse or two they want to give away, like horse, or just providing those resources. Every action makes a difference in helping projects like this come alive. And as always, if today's conversation touched you, stick around, Alena. I want to follow up with you for a hot second after this show. But for those listeners out there, share this conversation. You never know where you will find your recovery journey leading you, right? And this could be one of those things. That's why we try to highlight people and places and resources that are everywhere. Share this episode with someone who might need to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe to the Conviction Fiction Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Until next time, remember, second chances aren't just possible, they're powerful. Thank you for joining. See you next week. And now for a quick commercial break. If you are ready to transform your life today, No Turning Back, The Journey Home and the Work Within is more than just a book. It's a roadmap for redemption, resilience, and rebuilding. In this deeply personal and powerful narrative, I share my journey from incarceration to empowerment, and I kind of weave together stories of struggle, growth, and transformation with a little help from my friends. With raw honesty and a message of hope, this book is a must-read for anyone seeking to break free from the past, embrace second chances, and build a better future. So if you are ready to turn the page on your story, No Turning Back will inspire you to confront your challenges, embrace your potential, and take that first step toward change. Get your copy today and start your own journey toward healing and transformation.